Hi guys, I'm Garitas, and today I'm going to be showing you guys 7 ways to create more chances in FIFA 23. The first way to create more chances is quite different to the rest, and it is literally to just shoot. Now that might sound a little bit silly, however in this game it's very common for people to drop back, put 10 men behind the ball, and people can really struggle to create chances when it's like this. And the best thing to do is to shoot from range. And there's a couple of really good mechanics in this game that you can use to do this. So the opponent's dropped off. You've got lots of space in between you and the opponent. You can either do a flick up power shot, or you can do Travellas. Both of these are super effective. To do a power shot, you just need to hold the L1 and R1 button while you're shooting. Now, these shots are manual, so the ball will literally go wherever your left stick is facing. So if you're pointing it like upwards, the shot will literally like go up like this. So you've got to make sure you are really pointing that stick towards the goal when you do them. Power shots are more consistent when the ball is bouncing, so if you just flick the ball up before you do it, you'll get that nice real dropping shot like so. You don't have to time these for them to be effective. If you do time them, then they'll even be more consistent than if you don't, but it's not necessary. If you don't know how to do a Travella, if you have somebody with the outside of the foot shot trait, they'll come off a lot more consistently. Also, if you keep the shot power on 89 or under, you'll get the more dropping, looping animation more consistently, which is the most consistent way for these to go in. These are more for these wider positions, whereas the power shots are more for those central positions. So you just want to be around here, ball roll to get the angle, and then hit your Travella like so. These don't need to be timed, but if you can time them, they're obviously going to be even more consistent. The second way to create more chances is the utilization of skill moves, but more specifically, don't underestimate the value of being unpredictable. Now, when I say don't underestimate the value of unpredictable, what I mean is a lot of people will just do the meta skill moves they see all the top players doing. However, you can be really ambitious even in high elo games, because what you'll find is when you are playing really good players and you are struggling to create chances, if you do something really outlandish and just something that people aren't used to playing against, it really throws off their like dictionary of muscle memory, and you can probably not consistently keep doing it to them because they will catch on as to what you're doing. But if you're struggling to score, just doing like a really unusual skill move like a Balassi spin and then flicking it afterwards, these kind of skill moves are so unexpected that you can really catch even the best players off guard with these. Speaking to sort of like a Balassi spin and things like that, that is my kind of favourite unpredictable thing to do. If I'm like around here, to like do a Balassi spin away and then flick the ball back over my head, stuff like that, it's still really effective, but people just don't do it. This is definitely one not to overdo, but just when you are struggling to score, just go for something a bit more unpredictable, a bit more ambitious. You'll be surprised how often it actually comes off for you. The third way to create more chances in FIFA 23 is very specific, and that is utilising ball rolls to get passing angles to work the ball inside the box. This is something that I only see good players do. I do not ever see an average player do this, and it's extremely simple. It's something that anyone can do. It's just knowing that it's effective just seems to not be common knowledge. Now, as you've just seen, like it doesn't look like anything spectacular, but the amount of times I see somebody in this position and they try and play this kind of pass across, but they can't because someone's cut in the passing lane. Literally, if you just more often than not just ball rolled away and then pass the ball, you will make that pass so much more often than you normally do. You'll create so many more chances and not give up that ball on the wing. You'll get it into the centre so much more often by just adding that ball roll in before you execute the pass. Just adding that to your game is going to be a game changer. That's a really, really important one. Number 4. Now, this next one is going to be early crosses. Now, I specifically say early crosses because you guys may be familiar with the term German cross. This is a term that derived from pro players utilising sending a centre mid on a run early and working the ball to the wing, crossing the ball really early as that centre mid is just about to pass the defensive line, and they get them clean through, like with a really early cross from that centre mid that they've committed forward. Now, That is what a German cross is specifically. And I'm not talking specifically about this, more just as a general, when you're working down the wing, just keep your eye on that back post. You'll be surprised how often, if you're conscious of it, you actually do have someone free on the opposite side of the box. It's really important you just keep an eye out for this, because often you'll run it to the byline and then the guy's retreated and then you've not really got anywhere to go. Whereas 50% of the time, maybe, you will actually have a runner on that back stick who you can often pick out. Just aim for like 3.5 bars of power and you'll be able to pick them out really consistently and get way more clean-cut chances through doing this. To give you guys a specific idea, the German crosses, after they sent someone on a run, they'd be whipping them in from like here. Whereas for an early cross, say you're just running down the byline, say once you're about here, that's normally when the guy in the middle's in about the right spot. If you leave the cross too late, the cross normally goes kind of behind them, or it's too close and the goalie can come out and get it. But if you cross the ball from anywhere around this point, that's the point where you should be looking at executing that cross to the back post. I recommend, if the ball falls quite low at their feet, by all means hit it first time. If it seems quite high on their body, I recommend taking a touch first. But also just be conscious of whether they're running the goalkeeper out as well. That should be factored into your decision of whether you shoot first time or not. Number 5, this next one is very specific, but it's very simple as well. That is to do a fake shot on your first touch, more specifically at like a 90-degree angle. The reason this is so effective is, one, most people don't do this, so people won't be expecting it, but also so many people take a touch and then try and turn one of two ways. People don't expect a snappy, fast animation off of your first touch. There really isn't too much to demonstrate on this one. It's just simply when you pass the ball into someone, just instantly fake shot at a 90-degree angle in whichever way that you want to go. I would say the most meta way to utilize this is to do a driven pass into the feet, because that way everything's just happening quicker and the opponent has less time to defend it. Number 6. Now this next one is an extremely mechanic abusing way to score, so I've deliberately put it further to the back of the video so less people see it, but if you've made it this far, then enjoy. Number 6 is first time over the top through balls. Now the most common example of these is the kickoff glitch. Now I don't want to promote this too much because this is an extremely mechanically abusive technique, but these can be utilized in game all the time, and the best way to do it, pass the ball with someone and send them on a run. Then I would recommend doing 2 or 3 more passes after sending them on the run. And when you can see they're just about to pass the defensive line, that's when you want to ping that first time through ball. The clip I just showed you is a prime example of that. It does take a little bit of feel. There's not really a better way to explain it other than for you to watch that clip and just see how it works. I'll play it again for you now. So it's just about working the ball, getting someone on the run, dropping it back, hitting it first time, and the opponent's AI doesn't pick it up. He has to be very aware of this himself to stop this. So it's very, very difficult to stop. You have to be a very good player and be very aware of what the other person's doing to stop it. So for you guys, if you want to utilize these are absolutely guaranteed to create more chances and bag you guys more goals. Last but not least, the 7th way you guys can create more chances in FIFA 23 is to do driven passes into the box. Now, driven passes, I'm sure a lot of you guys will use in your build-up, working up the pitch, but what most people don't do is utilize those driven passes in those close quarters in that final third. It is a huge addition to your game because what it does is it gives you that extra half a yard, just gives you that extra half a second to do a skill move, or it gives you that chance to shoot the ball just before the defender has it covered. If you do ground passes, you're just giving the opponent that little bit more time. If you do driven passes, you're giving yourself just that little bit more time, and that is the difference. Just to show you guys an example of where most of you probably don't do driven passes, but where a lot of the top players do, would be a position like this. Like earlier when I talked about that ball roll away to play the ball inside, most of you probably would ball roll and play a ground pass. A top player would do like a ball roll and then a driven pass, and they look extremely similar. Like, I can see that they look extremely similar, but the speed of the driven pass could be the difference between the defender getting his foot across and blocking your shot and not. And that is simply it. It's just a minor adjustment to net you guys just way more success in the final third. This is probably the most minimal difference, and yet it will probably have the biggest difference on your game out of any of these 7 pointers that I've given you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys, and more than anything, I just hope these 7 ways to create more chances in FIFA 23, help you guys out, help improve your game. I really appreciate all the amazing comments you guys have been leaving me, particularly on the tutorials where you've been saying how much it's been helping you guys. You're getting more wins than you ever have before in champs. Like, this is just amazing to hear, and I really appreciate your kind words. If you did make it this far in the video, guys, as always, I really appreciate your time. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn your bell on. Take care, guys.